Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of Future Link, the podcast where we dive deep into the cutting edge world of brain computer interfaces, straight from the mind of someone who's living it every single day. I'm your host, Brad Smith. You might know me as ALS Cyborg or Neuralink Patient 3. That's right, I'm the third human on this planet to receive the Neuralink implant. And folks, it's been an absolute wild ride that I wouldn't trade for anything. If you're tuning in for the first time, let me give you a bit more background on me. I've been fighting ALS for over 6 years now, a disease that has gradually taken away my ability to move, speak, and even breathe on my own. But thanks to this incredible technology from Neuralink, I'm not just surviving, I'm thriving. I'm controlling computers with my thoughts, typing out messages faster than I could before, playing Mario Kart with my kids and actually beating them sometimes, and even dreaming about road trips again. Heck, I'm typing this very script right now using nothing but my brain signals. No hands, no voice, just pure intention. It's like I've got a superpower, and it's all because of the dedicated team at Neuralink who made this possible. Before we jump into today's topic, I want to share a quick story to set the stage. When I first got selected for this trial, I was over the moon. I remember the day the Neuralink team came to my house, including their president, DJ CEO. And we even had a call with Elon Musk himself to thank my family for being part of this. My kids were there, turning the whole thing into a bit of a circus. But it was one of those moments that reminded me how far we've come. From endless MRIs and psych tests to qualify, to the surgery itself. On November 8th, 2024, it's been a journey of hope, hard work, and a whole lot of excitement. And now, here I am, hosting a podcast to share it all with you. So if you're curious about the future of human potential, stick around, because we're just getting started. Today, we're tackling something that's crucial in a world full of misinformation, debunking the common criticisms and misconceptions about Neuralink. There's so much noise out there, from fear-mongering headlines to wild conspiracy theories on social media. As someone who's actually gone through the entire process, from the initial scans and interviews to daily training sessions and real-world use, I'll set the record straight, using my personal experiences and posts I've shared on X. Follow me at ALS Cyborg if you haven't already. No hype, no exaggeration, just honest facts from the front lines, laced with a bit of my signature humor. Because, let's face it, life with ALS and a brain implant calls for a good laugh now and then. We'll break it down myth by myth, and by the end, I hope you'll see Neuralink for what it truly is. A game changer for people like me who need it most. Let's dive in. Myth 1. Neuralink is unsafe and just an experimental gimmick that could fry your brain. This one's probably the most common fear I see floating around. People claiming it's super risky brain surgery, totally unproven, and might lead to infections, rejection, or even some kind of brain overload. I get it. The idea of putting tech in your head sounds intense. But let's talk reality based on what I've lived through. My surgery happened on November 8th, 2024. It was a few hours under anesthesia, and I only needed 24 hours in the hospital for observation. The team at Neuralink was incredibly thorough. They sent folks to my house beforehand to interview us, explain every step, and make sure we were comfortable. Even DJ CEO, the president, stopped by, and we had that memorable call with Elon thanking us. Recovery was no walk in the park. I was pretty out of it from the bad pain meds for a couple days. But by day 7, I was charging the implant and gearing up for training. No infections, no rejection issues whatsoever. The implant itself is tiny, about the size of a stack of 5 quarters, or 5.3714 to be precise, as the engineers love to correct me with their nerdy accuracy. It has 64 threads with over 1,000 electrodes that listen to my neurons firing. And it's not some wild experiment without oversight. This is FDA approved for the trial. To qualify, I went through hours of MRIS plus psychological tests to ensure I was mentally ready. On X, I posted about how the surgery felt pretty easy for me overall, and the recovery, while tough, was manageable with the support from the Neuralink team. They're passionate, generous with their time, and incredibly smart. Sure, it's experimental. I'm only patient 3, but it's built on years of rigorous testing. They've made over 5,200 units before mine, with careful battery management and temperature controls to prevent any frying nonsense. If it were unsafe, I wouldn't be here chatting with you, feeling more empowered than ever. Debunked. Myth 2. Neuralink invades your privacy. It's mind-reading tech that Elon can use to control or spy on you. Privacy concerns are massive these days, and I see why this myth pops up. They're going to read your thoughts. Or Elon will hack into your brain and control you. Let's clear this up right away. Neuralink isn't about mind reading at all. It's a brain-computer interface focused on motor control. In my case, the implant is placed in the motor cortex, where it decodes my intended movements, like thinking about moving my hand, and turns that into controlling a cursor on a screen. It's essentially a super advanced mouse that responds to my brain signals. No deep thoughts, no emotions, no personal secrets, just motor intentions. The way it works is fascinating. The implant processes neuron firings every 15 milliseconds and sends that data via low-energy Bluetooth to a MacBook Pro, where AI helps translate it into actions like moving a cursor or clicking. It's not uploading my life story to some cloud server. I control what I do with it, whether that's typing a message to my family or playing a game. On X, I even joked about whether I could pick up ham radio or top 40 radio in my brain after we hit some Bluetooth interference during testing. Turns out Wi-Fi can mess with it, but we fixed that quickly. Neuralink is all about helping folks like me with ALS or paralysis regain independence, not about surveillance or control. And Elon? He's a passionate visionary who called to thank us personally. This is about advancing humanity, not some dystopian spy plot. If there was any spying going on, trust me, I'd be the first to call it out loud and clear. Myth busted. Myth 3. It's all hype. Neuralink doesn't actually work, or it's way overhyped by Elon Musk. The hype accusation. Elon does love making bold statements, but does the tech actually deliver? From my firsthand experience, yes, and then some. Let's rewind to my first training day. I started with what I called a drunk mouse, barely hitting 3 targets per minute on a simple screen game. But after a short break to reset my brain, it clicked. Literally. The cursor started moving smoothly, like riding a bike for the first time. By November 17th, I was tackling smaller and smaller targets on the WebGrid game, and I even broke pre-Neuralink world records, with confetti exploding on screen for that level 4 achievement. I posted about it on X, calling it silly but satisfying progress. Fast forward a bit, and the gains kept coming. I'm potentially typing 8 to 10 times faster than before with my old eye gaze system. I remember the thrill of beating my kids at Mario Kart, steering with my thoughts alone and legitimately taking down my son Lincoln once, though my other kids might have gone easy on me. Another huge win. I can use the implant outside in bright sunlight, which my eye gaze tech couldn't handle due to light interference. No more living like Batman in dark rooms. On X, I shared videos of me clicking tiny boxes using a tongue model. Yeah, the brain is weird. ALS remapped some signals, but Neuralink adapted. We're even experimenting with speech decoding, where I imagine mouth movements for phrases like, "The birch canoe slid on the smooth planks." It's not flawless yet, but it's real, tangible progress. Overhyped timelines? Maybe sometimes, but the tech itself? It's transforming my daily life, from communicating with loved ones to planning family outings. Debunked. Myth 4. Neuralink is only for the elite or rich. It's not accessible, and it's just Elon's ego project. People love to call it Elon's toy for billionaires, implying it's exclusive and driven by ego. Not even close. I'm just a regular guy from Arizona, a family man with ALS, who's been running a small business on the side, shout out to masonjarbox.com. I jumped on the patient portal years ago when it opened, followed Neuralink closely, and got selected after tests because it was a good fit, not because of wealth or connections. On X, I shared how I was one of the first submissions, and it was a huge win that the trial happened right here in Arizona, near home. No cost to me. This is a clinical trial, aimed at helping those who need it. Neuralink's vision is to scale this to thousands of people, and they're opening the registry worldwide to make it accessible. The team I've worked with has been absolutely amazing, passionate, generous, and super smart. DJCO even gifted me a really expensive self-tapping bone screw from the implant. That's not ego, that's genuine human connection. At a Neuralink all-hands meeting, I thanked them via video in my own cloned voice. This technology is amazing. You are making my life better. It's prioritized for disabilities like mine, with the broader goal of enhancing humanity. Elon's driven, sure, but I lobbied for this for years because I saw the potential to restore abilities. Now I'm living it. Myth crushed. Myth 5. Animal testing for Neuralink was cruel and unnecessary. This is a sensitive topic, and I understand the concerns. Critics say the animal trials were inhumane and avoidable. I'm not here to downplay ethics. Animal testing is a tough part of medical progress. But from what I have learned and shared on X, Neuralink prioritizes ethical standards and complies with all regulations. The testing was essential to refine the tech and ensure safety before human trials. They've produced thousands of units through rigorous processes, all to make sure it works without harm. The payoff? As patient 3, I've had no major issues post-implant. Smooth integration, reliable performance. Without that foundational work, this life-changing device wouldn't exist for people like me. On X, I've called myself a really big lab rat, in jest. But I'm truly grateful for the science that got us here. Neuralink's updates, like the telepathy blog post mentioning me, show transparency. Science isn't always perfect, but it's necessary for breakthroughs that benefit humans. Cruel? Not when done responsibly for a greater good. Debunked with context. And myth 6. Ethical concerns. Brain implants will create cyborgs, widen inequality, or alter humanity negatively. Ethical debates are worth having. We'll all turn into soulless cyborgs, or it'll create a divide between haves and have-nots. Well, I am a cyborg, ALS cyborg on X, and it's been empowering, not dehumanizing. Joking in one of my posts, "Greetings, puny humans. This is Brad's Neuralink brain implant, talking, trying to take over the world. But seriously, it's restored so much. Faster communication, gaming with my kids, even planning a Utah road trip in our shuttle bus. It's given me independence I thought I'd lost forever." On inequality, Neuralink is scaling for broader access, starting with those who need it most. Altering humanity? Right now it's therapeutic for ALS, paralysis, and beyond. In my big picture view, God has put me in this position to serve others. I am a better man because of ALS. It's about hope and progress, guided ethically with oversight. On X, I share faith-based insights, trusting in advancements that align with positive change. The team's dedication shines through in every session. Ethical? Absolutely, when pursued responsibly as Neuralink does. Myth addressed. Myth 7. Neuralink is the mark of the beast from the Bible. Now this one's a doozy. I've seen it all over X and online, with folks claiming Neuralink is the prophesied mark of the beast from Revelation, linking it to the Antichrist, control, or eternal damnation. It's tied to fears of implants as a sign of the end times, where you can't buy or sell without it. First off, my response is to laugh and say they've misinterpreted the Bible. So many people try to mold the Bible around their beliefs rather than seeking to know what God truly says. As a member of a living church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, we have more scriptures that support the Bible and teach about Jesus Christ. So I just laugh and share my testimony of Jesus Christ. In the opening chapters of the Book of Mormon, the prophet Nephi is shown Jesus Christ, hundreds of years before he would be born in Bethlehem. The angel asks Nephi if he understands what he's seeing. Nephi answers with what he does know. "I know that God loveth his children. Nevertheless, I do not know the meaning of all things." 1 Nephi 11:17. This is my statement of faith. In the face of what I do not know yet, I rely on what I do know. I know that God loveth his children. Nevertheless, I do not know the meaning of all things. Look, Neuralink isn't about worshiping a beast or rejecting faith. It's a medical tool helping restore abilities lost to diseases like ALS. It's in my brain, not on my forehead or hand, and it's voluntary for those in need. Biblical scholars and even some posts on X point out that the mark involves deliberate allegiance, not helpful tech. I've posted about my faith journey, how ALS has made me closer to God and my family. This implant's a blessing, not a curse. If it were the mark, I'd know, and I'd warn everyone. Instead, it's given me hope. Myth thoroughly debunked. Phew, that was a deep dive, but hopefully we've cleared the air on these myths. Neuralink isn't perfect. We're still ironing out kinks like Bluetooth interference or the brain's weird remapping. But from my experiences and shares on X, it's safe, effective, and genuinely life-changing. It's allowed me to connect more with my wife, Tiffany, who's been my rock, and my kids, Abigail rubbing my arm before surgery. The whole family turning events into adventures. If you're still skeptical, follow my journey on X at ALS Cyborg for more. Let's embrace progress that helps humanity, guided by faith and ethics. Thanks for tuning into Future Link. I'm Brad Smith, Neuralink P3, signing off with my brain. Remember, the future's bright, and it's in your head, powered by hope and innovation. See you next episode. If you want to support me in Future Link, subscribe to me on X or DM me for anything.